Heavyweight division, I would have to say right now is probably the deepest it's ever been as far as quality opponents. Roy Nelson, who I think is a pain in the ass for everybody to want to fight, Mirko Cro Cop is retiring from the division, and I still think he's actually a pretty viable, dangerous guy. Obviously, Nogueira's out there, Brendan Schaub's a young gun coming up, and that's not to mention then you have Shane Carwin, Cain Velasquez, JDS, who are top flight guys, obviously 1, 2, 3 in the world, Brock Lesnar. Now you have Alistair Overeem. Right now, you have a who's who of the MMA world in the heavyweight division. I think the only advantage I have going into it is the fact that he knows if he loses again, it's 2 to the same guy, and that makes it very hard to get a third. So I think that puts a little added pressure on the opponent, the guy coming off of the loss. The other part, though, as far as the guy coming off the win, the disadvantage is that you can find yourself getting complacent. It's not, real conclusive where the guy who won the first time always wins the second time. In fact, it's kind of a coin toss, to be honest with you. But somehow that victory almost kind of makes you it takes away that edge in training where you're vicious about it. The reason why I didn't fall victim to that, I think, is because of the fact of all his fan base saying that, he was injured and he had staph or whatnot. I think has added a little bit of fire under me to where even after having the win, I just wasn't satisfied enough with that win, and I'm looking to go ahead and have an even more devastating win on Saturday. I still do prefer submissions. Knockouts, I think, are great, and I love to be able to strike people and use that as a finish. But with a submission, there's something more personal about strapping on to somebody and locking on a hold, and that individual then has to admit defeat. People get caught, and it's one of those things like they don't know until afterwards. You kind of wake them up and go, hey man, you got caught with a shot. It's like, are you serious? With submission, you know that it's coming and you're in it, and you have to kind of make that decision on when you want to quit. Having my family with me is very important just because I've kind of tried to look at the model that people had when the family values were the strongest. I love having my wife and my kids with me because it makes me feel very grounded and it keeps me in perspective. If you surround yourself with too many people that are fans of you, they don't see you for who you really are, then it kind of distorts your perception too. My kids see me as dad, and my wife sees me as the husband who left his wet towel on the floor and got yelled at this morning about. I'm a martial artist. And I love to train and fight and compete because it expresses who I am. And I have to put myself in the toughest competitions possible. I think some people shy away from that. They'll train in the gym and say that they're training, street-oriented self-defense or whatnot, but they don't want to put themselves in situations where they could be bleeding and could be tired and could lose and get, and get mangled around and have their ego bruised. They're not really testing themselves. They'll never know who they are. I feel bad for them. It's a depressing life. In my life, I get to test myself all the time, and I smash my soul apart, and I get to break around the pieces and work on it and build on it, and I get to make myself a better person because of it.